Hey everyone, welcome in and welcome back. My name is Laura and we are going to dig into these astrological aspects, and then we are going to go further with some tarot and some oracle insights. And so I don't know about the rest of you, but this energy is building and I can feel it as we are quickly approaching the first eclipse on the Pisces Virgo axis, the first eclipse being the full moon this weekend. And today is nothing short of extraordinary is really what this is feeling like for me, because today we do have Jupiter in Cancer in a trine to the North Node in Pisces. And this North Node is also going to be activating the eclipse on the weekend. And so whenever there's a North Node perfecting transit, this is our karmic pathway. And because the North Node is in Pisces, this is connected to the collective. And then there's a hitch here too, because we have Mars in Libra also in a square to Jupiter in Cancer. And so these aren't quite happening at exactly the same time, but they are both happening at 18 degrees. And so this is pretty significant because this really is happening together in tandem in the energies today. As you can see up on the screen, I did pull the chart of Jupiter trine the North Node with this transit perfecting. But you can also see that Mars is already in that square to Jupiter as well. And so with this North Node trine, this I feel is bringing destiny aligned opportunities. We see Jupiter sitting there in the 12th house of karma, the 12th house of spirituality. This is the house of hidden enemies, the house of self-undoing. But this is also a deeply spiritual alignment, right? Where we are being asked to trust our own inner guidance, our own intuition, even if logically we can't really see the big picture of it all just yet. And I do feel there is a very karmic alignment at play today, right? And so the North Node basically is calling us all as a collective to surrender. Pisces is asking us to surrender control and to get back into the flow of divine timing. So whatever is unfolding now through these eclipses is basically part of our karmic purpose unfolding, right? We see Jupiter here also in a sextile to the South Node in Virgo. This is where we are being asked to open up the opportunity, I want to say, to release the overthinking tendencies or the control tendencies, because Virgo likes structure and order. Virgo wants to know the outcome. It wants to try and control the outcome. So there is an opportunity here to surrender. We also see Jupiter in a separating trine to Lilith in Scorpio, with Lilith in the 5th house of creativity. It's the house of children. It's the house of fun. It's the house of short-term romance. And so right now there's a truth telling coming to the surface, I feel, connected to short-term romantic partnerships. And there is this shadow healing at play, okay? And then with the semi-square to Mercury in Virgo, I just noticed 333 on the timer. There is this need to work through faith versus logic. And so there's a little bit of tension there, right? It's not quite a full square, but it's a semi-square at play. And then we have this tension building in the energies today connected to Mars square Jupiter. And so there's tension, right? Because Mars wants us to take action, but Mars in Libra isn't quite sure about that action, right? That's the fall energy of Libra, or the detriment of Libra is chronic indecision about taking action, right? And then Jupiter is saying, let's expand, let's expand. And so this is really feeling like a lot of reactive energies, a lot of thinking, a lot of overdoing, a lot of just overreaching energies is really what this transit is feeling like. And so really be prepared, I want to say, for those heated arguments in relationships or family structures where there's injustice or there's a lot of unresolved family issues or family matters. And this is likely, I feel, going to create like almost like a knee-jerk reaction. And so we've got this beautiful trine unfolding in the energies today. And then the energy is building towards this very tense square between Mars and Jupiter. And so there's action that needs to be taken. There's fairness that needs to be looked at. There's relational balance, I feel, in question in the energies today. And Jupiter in Cancer is going to expand that emotional intensity of these energies. And so I just feel these energies are kind of working together. There's likely going to be heated debates. There could be, I just feel this energy of like taking things too far in a family related dynamic or a justice related dynamic because of the Libra energy. And this is likely going to create a lot of overreactions. And so we also have Mars in a quincunx to the North Node in Pisces. So this is where I think things are feeling a little bit foggy, a little bit out of sync, especially when it comes to the divine flow, because quincunxes are an uncomfortable aspect, right? It's an inconjunct. It's also in conjunct or quincunx Priapus in Taurus, and Priapus being the shadow masculine energy, always in opposition to Lilith. And so there's very impulsive desires connected to shadowy karmic attachments here. And the energy is saying caution, caution, caution. And with the trine as well to the anti-vertex in Gemini, there's going to be fated conversations. So these could be fated, heated conversations. There could also be a chance encounter, right? Because the vertex and the anti-vertex are connected to fated soul connections and shadow work connected to these fated soul connections. And so with the semi-square to Mercury in Virgo, there's likely going to be a lot of miscommunications, or at least the potential is there for these miscommunications. So be mindful of your words. We don't want to be reactive. We do want to be responsive, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, we really can't control what comes out of our mouths, right? So let's go a little bit further here with the cards, because that Uranus energy too, I feel, still sitting in that 11th house as all of this is playing out. There's some type of connection here and shadow work connected to false social structures, or like a social group or a friend circle. And there's going to be some shadow work connected to that still in these energies leading into the eclipse. So we're going to start off today with getting a few messages from the wisdom of the Oracle deck. I've really been drawn to this deck recently, and I really do enjoy Colette Baron-Reid's work. So let's see what we got today. Well, we got yin on the cut, and we have time to go. So yin is, for me, the high priestess energy. This is also connected to divine feminine. I feel an ace of cups here. I really do feel an ace of cups energy. And I also feel somebody is being guided by spirit to leave something behind. It's time to go. It's time to leave the pain, the suffering, the emotional discomfort behind. There's almost like a 5 of cups quality here at play. And it's time to kind of cross that bridge. And oftentimes we don't really know what's on the other side of that threshold. But as you can see here, there is a doorway in the distance, but it's closed. And you're not sure what you're going to walk through that door to find. But somebody knows it's really time to go. And I think somebody here has really struggled. It's almost like the party's over. There's already been some type of separation or disconnect in a relationship. And when that happens, the best thing you can do for yourself is love yourself enough to leave it behind, right? It's time to go. It's time to fill your own cup. It's time to make that difficult choice. And I do feel somebody has already been guided by their intuition. And I do think this is a very uncomfortable choice. So what else do you got here, Spirit, in the energies today? Clean it up. This is about closing out cycles. This is about cleaning up the past baggage, cleaning up the past karma. This is about self-leadership. It's the stag energy. Whenever I see a broom, there's a messy situation here that needs attending to, that probably has been avoided up until now. And so I'm feeling all of the fixed signs, but there's completion here. There's enlightenment. There's expansion. There's a lesson here coming to completion connected to repeated patterns. And maybe this has been a struggle, but I do feel there is a feminine here closing out a major cycle, and it's time to clean this mess up. What else do we got here, Spirit? Milk and honey. So this is about rigorous honesty, right? After we face the challenges, after we face the storm, then we can have those blessings. And so we see an elephant here bathing in a bowl of milk and honey. This is the sweet stuff, right? This is the sweet spot. This is learning the lesson, right? We think of an elephant. An elephant lives a long life. They hold a lot of wisdom. There's something here about closing the book on the past, completing this cycle, and knowing that things are going to be brighter on the other side of this. But I also do feel a King of Swords energy at play. And so you could be dealing with somebody that might be a little bit cold, a little bit detached here, somebody that maybe isn't that great at communicating their feelings. There's logic here at play. But there is going to be an opportunity to mend something, right? And we can't fix something if we're not willing to acknowledge it, if we're not willing to have a conversation about it. And so there is a Queen of Swords at play here. But below this mending, there is this sense of, hey, this is not for me. So oftentimes the King and Queen of Swords is what I'm feeling here, can represent the energy of feeling like a sibling, right? It's kind of like the brother-sister energy when it comes to the pairs in the archetypal energies of the kings and the queens. And so maybe there is a situation here where, yeah, it feels like a true pair, but maybe it's grown cold. Maybe there's a need to heal a situation, but it's going to require some communication. And I do feel there's going to be an opportunity to make a different choice. There is a karmic cycle here with the breathe card. And so take a deep breath, pause, try not to be reactive. There is a situation here that needs to be cleaned up, but we can't move from one cycle to the next without having that conversation. And so there it is, the fork in the road. And so there is a decision here that needs to be made. There is an ending because it is a 13 card, which is connected to the death card. And so there's an ending here. I just feel somebody has felt like they've been in a situation where maybe there's been a lot of people in the mix, because I'm hearing flying monkeys. And we all know that the flying monkeys represent, you know, when we bring in third party into our relationship. And I'm not going to use the word a narcissist, although I'm going to kind of reference it. Oftentimes narcissistic patterns within people, they want to get everybody on their side, and we call those people the flying monkeys. And so I do feel there's a situation here where there's been no resolution in sight. There's been a lack of communication. I do think this has been a very long journey, and I do feel somebody keeps going back. How many times are you going to spiral back before you complete this ending? And so maybe the fear of all of the gossip surrounding this situation is holding you back from making that decision and moving forward. Yeah, I do feel it is connected to a community or a social group. And so it's going to take great strength, right? Oftentimes we stay connected in relationships due to the connections entangled within this relationship. And so it is time to move on from a relationship and the social community connected to that relationship. Ain't that the truth? Because it's time to go. You know when it's time to leave a relationship behind, a job behind, a group of friends behind. We know deep in our soul when it's time to leave something behind, and oftentimes logic will hold us back because the ego wants to keep us stuck, right? It doesn't want us to break free from what we know, what is comfortable, but there is a need to find your willpower and your determination to move on. This is what is going to bring somebody peace here. And I do feel there is a need to have a heart-to-heart conversation to clean this up. So let's go a little bit further with the tarot. Let me grab my Tarot of Dreams deck and let's see what needs to come through today. Look at that. King of Swords on the cut. There is a masculine here that needs to speak up. It does feel like a masculine. Could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It does not have to be. But this is about communication. This is the truth. This could be unexpected communication. I also feel this energy of unexpected epiphanies and downloads. This masculine, I feel, is receiving some type of information connected to a Four of Wands situation or a union or a partnership. And there is a need to get clear. There is a need to get honest here. So let's see what this is all about today. Nine of Swords in reverse. So more Mars energy and the Three of Cups. It's almost like, yeah, the party's over. The masks have slipped when it comes to a social group. I do feel Cancer energy coming through with that Three of Cups. And so Jupiter is going to be expanding this need for this masculine to take charge. We do have a divine masculine, an emperor coming through today. And something about Saturn recently ingressing into Pisces is really triggering this masculine to take charge, to take action, to close out a cycle. There it is, that World card. But it's funny, I feel the feminine needing to walk away, but we've got a masculine here. He is the one that takes charge. He is the action taker, and there is some karma here at play for sure. And this is definitely connected to all of the fixed signs. And there's that new beginning. Once this lesson is complete, once this cleanup is complete, we're going right into a new beginning. But I do feel this third party energy, this community energy, it's going to feel explosive, breaking free from this. But that Ace of Wands is the central energy today, followed by the Knight of Wands in reversed. And this to me is feeling like a very unexpected departure. We do get the Tower, more Mars energy, unavoidable change, to the Page of Cups, to the Nine of Cups. And so this really is leading somebody towards wish fulfillment. And then we get that Jupiter Pisces energy. And so Jupiter in that trine energy to the North Node is really expanding this. The Nine of Cups can also represent, I want to say, overindulging or overdoing it, right? Maybe celebrating a little bit too much here. But the Page of Cups is saying open-hearted conversations, open-hearted communication. And yeah, once we open that box of shadow work, we can't unsee it. And so I do think it's time to have that conversation. This to me is always that Pandora's box. There has been withheld communication, whether you didn't want to see it, you didn't want to talk about it. Maybe this has been in the works for 4 years. Whenever I see pentacles, I think in timing of years. And so the Magician is how we create our reality. The Magician has all of the tools in the toolbox to create the reality that we want, but we can't do it in this sense of trickery. And so I do feel almost like a self-sabotaging pattern here, and this is Venus energy. There could be a feminine here that has really played into a self-sabotaging cycle with a masculine, hoping that this is the counterpart. But I feel there's something here that can't be unseen, and there is going to be some type of karma playing out today. This is connected to Pluto. We do still see Pluto sitting here in the 7th house, and so this is the ending of a relationship. And that's interesting because Pluto is in the 7th house, and the 7th house is in Capricorn today at the time of this major transit. And so the old relationship structures are being dismantled, are being peeled back, are being rebirthed. There is this process too, I want to say, of soul retrieval coming through, and this is all leading into that eclipse. And so there is going to be a new beginning here, and I do think it is going to be coming after a very painful ending. And so this is a wake-up call. There's been an illusion. There's been fear. There's been fear of taking a leap of faith. Maybe somebody's afraid of feeling like a sacred clown. But there is an illusion here coming to light, and there's going to be truth. There's going to be truth spoken or downloaded. There's going to be an epiphany, and it is going to lead to healing. It is going to lead to a pathway of healing. So let's take a look at this Ace of Wands. I really want to look at this Ace of Wands because I do feel there is an explosive, passionate new beginning here. There's a fire, there's a spark, there's an ignition point. And this is triggering unexpected departures within the collective. There could be a masculine leaving behind a community or a group. And I do think they've really struggled with this decision. I do think they have. So where is this Ace of Wands leading this masculine today? What is going on here? Let's get one more card out on this Ace of Wands today. All right. Some type of reunion. We do get the Six of Cups to the Sun. So there's illumination. There is a reorientation of a masculine's path here. And this is somebody coming out of hiding. This is somebody coming out of the closet. I do feel they've really went within. They've really thought about this. There's something about all of this Virgo energy shining a light on a soul connection. And I do think there's been shadow work as well, connected to patterns. The Six of Cups can represent patterns. We do see the Scorpio energy. The Sun does represent Leo, and we do got strong Virgo. So we could have a masculine here that's an Aries, has prominent Leo, Virgo, or Scorpio in their chart. But they are being guided towards a reunion with a past life soulmate. And I do feel this is divinely guided. This is a connection that is destined, that is part of a karmic alignment here, and it's time to take those guided action steps forward. And so it will lead to wish fulfillment. Perhaps this masculine is going towards a Taurus or an Aries, but there is wish fulfillment here at the end of the day. But you're going to have to get yourself unstuck. You're going to have to unblock communication if you want to move forward. And I do think there is an abundance of downloads creating this scattered energy, scattered thought processes. Kind of feels like stop and go energy, but there is a need to just drink out of the cup, right? So there is a separation from third party, whether it's a community, a social group, the masks are off, a masculine is seeing things very clearly, and they are going after that Ace of Cups, but I do feel there's still a Five of Cups at play here. So I don't know if there's regret or there's remorse about walking away from a situation that should have been invested in. And maybe this is a ghosting situation. Like I said, previous readings from about 5 years ago. And this really has been thought about for the last 2 years. I feel a masculine here that has been going through a lot of karmic struggles for the last 2 years. And with Pisces, with Saturn now retrograde dipping back into Pisces, it's time to close out this karmic cycle once and for all. I do feel like, again, we've got Pisces, we got Virgo, and there it is. It's time to find that determination and the willpower to get in the driver's seat, to take control of a situation and to go forward. And I do think there's a rebirth of a situation. And I want to say it's not over until it's over. Something here that you thought was dead and gone is about to be revived. And that's the truth, because there's heart healing here. And somebody can't get, I feel, this old situation out of their mind. And I don't think they ever really moved on from a situation, maybe with a counterpart. But it's really time to go through this expansion. And I just feel like that bubble is about to get burst. And I feel like ever since that Lionsgate portal, that 8-8 portal, this really has been pushing this masculine, almost like that pebble in the shoe, that niggling feeling, hounding. So let's get a divine energy oracle message. Let's see what the closing message is today, because I do feel there could be a lot of reactions. There could be a lot of faded conversations, but there is a masculine here being asked to take the lead. Right? And so it is the masculine that leads. It is the feminine that receives. So I don't know which end of the situation you are on, but there's a masculine here that needs to take charge. They need to take the lead of a situation. The time is now. And if they are to build success, they're going to have to focus on it. And there's going to be an opportunity to start with a clean slate and to build on solid ground. And that's what I have for a message today. I think a masculine here is getting ready to face the challenges, to take the lead, and to come in with some truth, I feel, after a long period of silence, because they want to build something solid and they want to start from scratch. So if you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, do feel free to check out the description box below. Below you will find a link to my webpage and all of the different offerings that I do provide. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Have a great day, everybody.